write and publish their books, self-publish, non fiction only. And I would love to. I love it. I love what I do. I love to help, especially new authors. But I have a high percentage of return authors. I have one couple that I've helped with 4 books now. Another, a couple books and stuff like that. So people can sense my passion. I put my heart and soul into it, and I'm just, looking forward to a new batch of clients for the rest of the year, because I have some openings now. First quarter was crazy. I mean, just I had clients coming out of the woodwork, and I'm so thankful for that. So I'm ready. And they can reach me at winningproof.com and winning proof, that's WINNINGPROOF, on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Those are the 3 major ones. I've pretty much given up X. It's pretty negative on there.
Speaking of negativity, why are so many people negative when it comes to their relationships online and in person? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question, because I do see that lately more, like we talked about before we started, is that people seem to be just venting more. Or I think I think this is it too. I think people's thresholds are getting lower. Like they're not tolerating, where maybe we were more tolerant in the past of just relationship issues. Now it's just like zero tolerance, and people are letting other people know online and off.
Yeah, it's
But
tough, right? Because if I have an issue with someone that I'm dating, I have a choice. The choice is either I talk to that person or I talk to strangers online, right? But God forbid I go and I talk to her, right? So, and what I think is happening when it comes to complaining online is that, at least from my perspective, and I'll get your input, Michelle,
mhm.
is that how many people are really going to tell us maybe the issue is us online, because they don't really know us, right? They're just going to agree, oh my God, she didn't make dinner when you came home. Of course, she's the worst woman in the world. You walk through the door, oh, he's demanding sex. Of course, he's the worst boyfriend in the world. But they don't ever give context. Is that something that you're seeing as well, where it seems like we just surround ourselves with with a bunch of yes people instead of going finding the root cause?
Well, absolutely. And it's nice to be validated. I can't take that away. It's nice to be validated, but you're being validated online by strangers who, like you said, don't know the context. They don't know, hey, maybe you're the jerk. Maybe you are, man or woman, and they're just reading what you're saying, and they're like, yeah, yeah, you leave him or you do this or that. It's easy to be an armchair quarterback. And I think that's what people are doing, is being armchair quarterbacks. And we can dive into this at some point. I don't know, but I have found Chat GPT, as we all know, our AI world is expanding, and it can be a very good therapist. An operative word, it can listen, it listens, it affirms, it gives you feedback, it makes suggestions, all without that online chatter that we hear. So that's just probably another whole topic, but I hope I answered your question.
You did, you did. What do you think then could be some of the reasons why people turn to the online world instead of people in general, in person?
It's safer. You don't have to, you can have, you people can be meaner online. They can be meaner via social media. We've seen some of the horrible, just people uh, are unleashed. They don't have bridles. They can hide behind a screen and just say whatever they want to. And then if they want to take down their profile or block people or whatever. So I think it's a safe place for people to just bring out their inner meanness with no repercussions. And I think they're in person conversations, face to face, however uncomfortable and awkward they can be. Come on, we're humans. We need face to face interaction, not with chatbots and robots and random people that we've never met, will never meet online.
I was in a relationship, Michelle. This was a while ago, and when there was a struggle in our relationship, like I'm a talker, like you are, right? Like we like to talk. We could talk for hours and hours and hours.
Yes.
And one thing I didn't, one of my boundaries was whatever we're going through, don't turn to the online community because they don't know me, they don't know you. And the problem is if I go to my online community, they're only getting the angry parts. And
Mhm.
that's a bad
Mhm.
impression of my partner because they're gonna be like, why hang out with this person if you hate her so much, if you don't like her, right?
Yeah.
Same
Yes.
thing on her side. It's a bad representation. It's like when we go to our friends
Mhm.
only to complain about our partner instead of telling the good things, they only know the bad.
Yes.
So when we would struggle in our relationships, one thing that she would do is that she would post videos of herself. This was years ago, a video of
Mhm.
herself with other men, either dancing or things like that, right? In an act to get whatever reaction she was trying to get at that point.
Yes.
And I would ask her about that. I would say, hey, this is how it looks because once you put something out in the online world, you can't take it back. Someone could
Mhm.
download it, someone could save it,
Yeah.
someone could comment, whatever,
Yes.
even if you were to delete it.
Yep.
So I shared that because some people, it seems, are more comfortable doing things to hurt you in front
Mhm.
of others
Mm.
versus having that conversations. Well, I didn't do it in front of your friends, I did it in front of strangers. Or my favorite, no one saw it. Right? It's
Oh,
like
only the whole world, only, eight
only
million
the whole
people.
world, only your 1 million followers or your 10,000 followers, right? Like those are the only people that saw it. I'd rather you do it if you're gonna do that, I'd rather you do it in front of two people that I know instead of 10,000 people wherever, right?
Yes.
So I share that experience because let's say, for example, you're going through a situation and your partner that you guys had a disagreement, whether it's your fault, his fault, everyone's at fault.
Mhm.
And he would continue to cross that boundary and go online and say that, hey, Michelle treated me, she didn't do this thing that I really liked. Here's a picture of me and my girlfriend before her, right?
Yeah.
How would you react if you're in that situation? Or how would you coach people to maybe react or not react in that situation?
Oh, I love the question because it reminds me of a lot of narcissistic dynamics because if you respond or try to defend, don't explain, don't argue, uh, it just if you respond to it, you're giving it energy, you're giving it life, which is what they want. The other person wants a reaction. They don't want to have a logical, compassionate conversation. They're doing it out of spite or whatever their evil motivation is. But say we are the ones being frowned upon. Ignore. The best thing a person can do is not feed the fire, not put lighter fluid on the fire. Just let it die down and walk away from it instead of getting. I see so many people getting in verbal street fights online, and it's ugly, and it's I feel bad for the people involved in that. And yes, our natural inclination is to want to defend ourselves. And like, I didn't, no, 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 I'm not like that and all that. But it just, that's what the person's looking for, is a reaction. And we do not give them that reaction. We just let the embers cool down and let them go on their way, because if they're that kind of person that's going to do that, people are going to know eventually.
Is that tough to walk away from the embarrassment online.
Yes, it absolutely is one of the toughest things, I think, because we want to defend ourselves. We want to defend our honor. We want to defend our character. And when somebody else is assassinating it in front of so many people, you have to think, do these people pay my rent? Do these people Are these people in my inner circle? No, they're just out in the stratosphere. So does it really matter that much? And when you kind of look at it that way, is just these are people that I have not been friends with for 20 years. I don't have a history with these people. Just let it go. Absolutely, it's the toughest thing ever. And I've had my character in person in another state I lived in completely assassinated, and it was one of the toughest things I ever went through. But I there was no I just like, okay, let your character speak for itself and walk away.
What were some of the steps that you were able to take to hold your head high and continue to do so?
Be myself. Continue. I know what kind of person I am. Just be myself was the best thing, because that if you're authentic and you're genuine, and I know those are words that are tossed around a lot, but if you're authentic and genuine in the way you conduct yourself, just keep being you. That is the main thing. Putting distance between you and the person who is spreading the lies and spreading the, the fire poop, you know. It's just distance yourself. Don't keep warming your hands by the fire. That's their fire. It's not your fire. So walk away and just put up some barriers. Block the person. Practical steps. Block the person on everything you can block them on: phone, social media, email, and just don't let them rent mental real estate in your brain, because I know I'm guilty of that. Is just they're occupying way too much of my mental real estate, and they don't deserve that. And I have better things to do with my brain than think about the person.
Oh yeah, when it comes to myself and that mental real estate, I'm like, you ever watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yeah. Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
remember when like Uncle Phil throws Jazz out of the house and he screams, ah, like that's me. Like once it's over, I throw you out of my mental house, bags and all, shoes and all flying behind you. It's like you are never a part of this home ever again, right? And I
Yeah,
say that because it's tough. It's
it
tough. Like,
is.
I'm 40 years old. I remember a time where when I used to date, even though I didn't date well in my 20s, there
Mm.
wasn't this online space. Like I'm a analog
Mhm.
baby, digital teenager and everything, right? I still remember the tail end of dial-up at that point, right?
Yeah,
Dial-up internet. Remember that? I'm not
I
with those
do.
rotary phones. I'm not there yet, but I'm after that fact.
Yes, you're in
It used to.
the the dot matrix printer, the end
Yeah,
of that era.
I'm the end of that. I'm the end of that era, right? Like I heard about it in museums, of course, but I didn't ever take part
Yeah.
in it, right? But if someone was going to hurt you back then,
Mhm.
in general, it had to be physically,
Mhm.
right? Like you can yell, but it wasn't, now it seems like from the dating aspect, it's okay. I'm going to get you financially. I'm going to get you
Mhm.
emotionally. I'm going to get you verbally. And the most important weapon of all these days seems to be like socially,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
To your point, right? I am going to make it that your circle of friends are going to view you differently because I'm hurt, I'm whatever. And I think that's a tactic more so of like modern dating because we try to intertwine our social media. Like how many people when they get together, they link it together, right? This is Train and Michelle's social media. Look at our photos, look at all of this together, right? We have our separate ones, but there's this one. Then when we break up, like all the pictures are gone. It's like what happened? Right?
Yeah.
It's 404 error, can't find account, right? It's
Yes.
totally Gone, do you think sometimes we are so these days so involved in living in the moment that we forget to properly plan to make sure that the relationship is going to be successful?
Ooh, that is good too. I love your questions. Terrain is the king of the good questions. um, that I think we can. I mean, I think you can plan. I think you can plan for a successful relationship. You can want one, but it's getting in and doing the work that's going to make it successful. So you have to put effort. You know, if you had, and I'm not an animal person, I'm sorry for all the animal lovers, I'm not an animal person, but if you had a dog and you say you love that dog, but you never fed it or put water out or took it out or got it groomed or washed its fur or whatever, that dog would probably eventually die because of non care. Same way with the humans. You have to put in, if you want a relationship to flourish, you have to put in time. You have to make that other person feel like a priority, not on the back burner. I used to say when I was married, hey, I'm not even on the back burner. I'm not even on the stove. And that's how I felt, you know, and that it just, you have to put energy into it. You have to put effort into it. And you have to learn that other person to know what their good little idiosyncrasies. If your girlfriend loves flowers and you're bringing her chocolate and she's trying to watch her weight, that's not really going to ring a bell for her. You know, it's the flowers. Or if she is loves like acts of service, and I'm going back to the five love languages, but if she loves, you know, you to do something for her, go get her car washed or something like that, and you're bringing her flowers and she's allergic to flowers, that's not going to float her boat. So it's learning the other person that really, it's taking time to learn the other person. It's the woman learning, oh, my man loves this meal, or he loves to go watch certain kind of movies like action movies, and she's more of a romance or rom-com fan. Go watch an action movie. If you have to put earplugs in your ear, do, you know, do manage it, but do, you know, same thing. So I'm not saying just the man to the woman to the man too. She needs to show him care and love and attention and, you know, and all that. So to me, that's what makes it. But with the online landscape today, ooh, it's, I think it's, you still need that face to face. You know, you still need that face to face. I don't know if I captured the whole question.
You did. And it made me think of when you mentioned the love languages, do we even know how our partner wants to be loved?
Exactly. Yeah. And see, and I can liken this, and this isn't a, it is a love language, but it isn't a romantic. When I lived in California and I was, you know, divorced, and I was living in a condo that my dad owned in Huntington Beach. My dad was an acts of service guy. He came over and changed the vacuum cleaner belt. He would put in a new filter for the furnace. He would go take my car for the weekend and get it detailed. I loved all that stuff, but I would have rather him said, I love you. I would have rather him put his arm around me and say, I'm so proud of you. Never got that. So there was always a little bit of disconnect. And that's all I can relate it to, is that you have to, if you have to, put your man in front of the, on their phone or in front of the computer and have them take that free love language test, you know, the quiz. And so you can know how to best fulfill that for them, and vice versa. So it's never one sided, but just you have to spend time with the person to know them and to know what their love language is. And I don't think it takes too long. And also ask, ask what directly, what is your love language? Do you prefer this or do you prefer that? And just, there's always that direct question.
One thing I notice is that when you mention ask, it
Mm-hmm,
seems that there's a hesitation to communicate in that way, because I remember there was a time where I asked someone, how does your partner want to be loved? And she gave me,
mm-hmm,
she's like, well, I don't know. I think he likes this. So I was like, okay, does your partner know that you love them? And she's like,
mm-hmm.
of course. I was like, okay. Did he tell you this? She was like, no. I was like, okay. You don't know how he wants to be loved. You haven't heard it. So why do you think you're loving him in the way that you want to be loved? And she looked at me, she was like, it's a good question. Well, he's still with me. Like, well, well, yeah, of course, hit dogs still return home. Right? So I say that in a joking matter because sometimes we assume a lot.
Mm-hmm,
And I think, unfortunately, especially these days where the sexual part is such a big part to a lot of people,
mm-hmm.
it's, well, she continues to come back and have sex with me, so she must love me.
Yeah,
Okay.
she might just want your credit card.
She
She
might just
might
want your money.
your money. She, don't. Yeah, men don't, and women are usually accused of being naive, but men can be naive too. Don't think that she wants you all that bad if there's no other signs there, but she keeps coming back. So that must mean that she loves you. She might just love to go out to dinner. She must, she wants your wallet. She wants I don't know, whatever it is she's after, if that's the dynamics, you know.
In general, then, are people confusing sex with love?
Oh, absolutely. And the age old, uh, I don't know, it's a saying that says women give love, men give love to get sex, women give sex to get love. So I think it's a lot of that. Uh, there are some women out there like me who are like, no, that is not going to happen until we're married. Most people nowadays would say, oh, that's so old fashioned. Oh my gosh, you're from the 50s. Yeah, I was born in 56. Yeah, whatever you want to call it, that's it. But that's my standard. And I'm kind of going on a rabbit trail, but I've had what I call one date wonders, where where the man has clearly said, I want the whole enchilada. And I said, thank you for your honesty and your transparency. That's not who I am. And never talk to them again. They certainly not interested in me. They're going to go on to Susie Q, who will accommodate them and give them the whole enchilada. That's not me. So it's, it gets complicated, I think, in that area because it just, women will do that to get whatever they're after. And there's a whole bunch of things they're after. Men will show whatever attention, whatever compliments they have to say to get accomplish their goal, their end game, if you know what I mean.
For
So
a lot of
it's,
people, that is the end game, right? It's
yeah.
like, okay, I remember one person shared that, well, what if I wait, we
Mhm.
finally do it, and I don't like it?
Yeah, like after you're married, or after, like, that's, or at what, like, in a like, what context are you saying? Because I
Well,
would
they
love
gotta
to.
taste the milk before they buy the cow,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yes,
That's
yes.
right.
You,
That's the context that they're
yeah,
in.
yeah, and you get the download before you buy the computer. Whatever way you want to say it. Yeah, and Yeah, I think that's a fear for a lot of people. You just like, oh my gosh, like I really am connected with him. We get along so well, and we're so, very attracted to each other and on many life planes. But then it's just like, oh, so I think that happens. And sometimes it takes time to gel. Like I'm talking in a marriage context, you're not going to be perfect the first time you're together after you're married. It takes time to gel. It takes time to know each other's likes and dislikes, all that.
Yeah, I always
So,
found that to be an interesting argument when someone says that, because my counter would always be, well, have you had terrible sexual experience with your previous partners? And they'll say no. They're like, okay, then why would that all of a sudden change if you're willing to wait? But I get it, right? Like,
yeah.
there's two ways to always look at something, right? There, from my perspective, you can find a reason to do something or a reason not to do something.
Hmm.
And I think that's one of the reasons why it's like, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this
Yeah.
happens? Okay, let's turn that around. What if all the positive things happen? You guys live together, you guys have beautiful kids, a beautiful partnership, a beautiful relationship. You guys can go on all these wonderful journeys together. Is it, is that all that worth it? It reminds me of a former friend who only would date guys with big hands. She had this thing, big hands, right? Big
Big
hands. Not even
hands.
big feet. Like the big feet was the joke, right?
Yeah,
But
like
big
a big
hands.
round
Yeah, like just
head.
big. Yeah, no, big hands. Like they have to have really big hands.
Hands.
Small
Oh,
head, but
hands. I
big
thought you
hands.
said heads. I'm trying to think, why would someone
No.
want a big head?
Yeah,
Okay. Big
big
hands.
head,
Okay.
big head, maybe big brain, right? So big
Okay.
hands, that was her thing, right? Some
Yeah.
people have
We
a
all have
foot
our
fetish, some
things.
people, whatever, that's their thing.
Yes.
So I said, how important are big hands to you? She's like, well, I need. I was like, okay. It's on your list, right? For things that he has to have big hands. So I said, if I were to introduce you to a homeless man who had big hands, no job, no home, dirty clothes, same under, he's wearing Monday underwear on a Friday, completely vagrant. And but he has big hands. You know what she did, Michelle? She was like, I'm like, the answer is no. Don't need to think about it. Nothing. I'm like, the answer is no. But some people are such a prisoner of their preference, right?
Oh,
Do you
yes.
see that as well, where people they want it so bad that they either don't see or turn a blind eye to everything else that are red flags?
Without a doubt, yes. And as you get older, the list gets smaller. And I've heard, comedians say, okay, as you get older, if you're an older single, and I mean maybe 40, 50, 50 and older, are they breathing? You know, can they stand up? Things like very basic things. All that, they have to be 6 foot tall. They have to have blonde hair or black hair, or they have to be one race or another, black or white or whatever else. And all those are important, I think, when you're younger and you have this big old long list. And then as you mature, as you get older, as you come more into yourself and know who you are, the list naturally shrinks to, are we aligned? Are we aligned spiritually? Are we aligned uh, emotionally, intellectually? If they're on a really low level plane and you're really like to personal development and are always learning, that, you know, never the two shall meet. It's not going to be a match. So it's just, you have to, I think as you get older, you have to just know what the important things are. And I talk to women, here and there in my sphere and stuff, and they say companionship is more important. Maybe not marriage is more important, especially 60 and older, but companionship, somebody you can enjoy going to a movie with, enjoy a dinner with, and enjoy uh, going miniature golfing, whatever it is. And then bye, see you. They go to their place, you go to back to your place, and it's just companionship. So that, and some women my age want to get married. They still want to get married. So all depends on that preference, but I think you have to let go of the preferences you're talking about eventually. And it's hard if you have a preference of a certain race, say, and I'm being very general here and not being specific to me. I'll say if you are really attracted to one race and that race you haven't found anybody, or just for whatever reason, you have to eventually let go of that and just say, God, bring me somebody who's compatible with me and my lifestyle, that I am compatible with them and their lifestyle. And I think that's the base you have to always go back to.
How can then men and women invest in themselves?
Oh, reading. You know, I'm a book and publishing consultant. Reading will always be my first answer. Read self personal development books. When I was first divorced, I read some of the books that were the most impactful for me, and this was uh, early, you know, in 40, 43, 44 years old. It was Changes That Heal, that book, Boundaries, Women Who Try Too Hard. Those three books were of paramount importance for my healing. And so reading is one of them. Get some counseling, some therapy, a coach, a relationship coach like yourself. Get with a professional who knows how to help you navigate that. Find your own interests. Go on your own vacations. Be comfortable. When I was first divorced, when I first went to a movie by myself, I thought the whole theater was staring at me thinking, what a loser she is. She cannot find a date. What is wrong with that woman? And you know what? Of course, I came to the conclusion nobody cares that much about you, Michelle. You know, get over yourself. You know, same thing with eating by myself. It was so foreign to me. I love it. And as we discussed prior to coming on, is that I am going on a 7-day cruise, solo cruise, operative word solo. I have no problem you know, navigating the whole thing. Everything is planned. Everything, you know, like I'm a super organized person, so everything is mapped out, list, everything is done. So learn to nurture yourself, especially even if it feels foreign, especially for newly divorced women. Learn to nurture yourself well. And every time you get a paycheck, or every time you get a client, if you're self-employed, every time you get a client payment or something, and I practice this, go buy your go treat yourself. Whether your thing is clothing, TJ Maxx, whether your thing is a meal, you know, go buy yourself. It doesn't have to be a, you know, Ruth's Chris $100 dinner. It can just be something that you like. Go get some ice cream. Treat yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to do it.
That's a big one, right? Don't wait for someone else to treat you that the way that you want to be treated, right?
Yeah, treat yourself that way. And that was really foreign to me. I'm like, when people say, oh, you deserve it, you deserve it. I don't deserve anything. I am thankful for the things I have been able to experience, the things I have. I'm thankful for them. And I've learned to do that. It was very foreign to me back in my early 40s. Now, I mean, this year I will be 70 in November, and I can say, please, honey, please go treat yourself. Please go be comfortable in your own skin. It'll be the best thing you ever did.
I remember the first time I took myself on a date. I loved it. Shiny shoes, dress pants, whole
Yes.
nine yards, right? To your point, you before you get there, sometimes you think, "Oh my God, everyone's going to see me," but no one's looking at you. You're not a
Nobody
celebrity.
cares.
Nobody cares. In your mind, you're the greatest thing in the world, but out there, you're just one of 8 billion people. You're not a celebrity, you're not rich, you're not coming from wherever, right? But one thing,
And you're not the
when
loser either. That you think people like going to a movie yourself and thinking everybody's thinking, oh, she can't get a date. What's wrong with her? It's the opposite of thinking you're the center of your universe. It's thinking that you're not walking in your worth and thinking that you're less than everybody else. So I'm sorry to interrupt. Had
no,
to.
that's a good point. That's a good point, right? Like instead of it's either you're thinking you're the center of the universe or you're the gum under someone's shoe, right?
Yep. Yes. It's usually either or. It's rarely in the middle.
How can then someone overcome the feeling of, let's say, shame when it comes to I'm going to do these things for me, but I don't want to be judged by others?
Well, you have to get over the being judged by others because of those. There's always going to be people who judge. There's going to be people in the theater who think that maybe. There's going to be people out that say, "Oh, you poor thing," and they feel sorry for you, and you have, like you think that there's something wrong with you. So you have to get over that because people will judge no matter what. They don't pay your rent, they don't deserve space in your brain. You don't know them. So get over that first thing and then just take baby steps and do one little thing. If this is foreign to you, do one little thing. And maybe it's in your comfort zone, totally in your comfort zone. Go get yourself an ice cream if that's your thing, or go buy a pair of shoes wherever you like to buy shoes. If you're whatever women are into. I'm not a shopper, so I'm just trying to make things up. Do something a little and then progressively do more and more, and you'll be so comfortable, and you don't always have to be out somewhere. Like some women are not comfortable in their own space here, in where they live, and so they'll always be busy, 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 and with other people because they don't like to be alone in their own head. And you have to get used to that. You have to become comfortable and just really learn to nurture yourself. And I love that you said you shined your shoes and a date with yourself. That is so significant because I do that. I take myself on dates. I'll go to Ruth's Chris for dinner. I have a favorite waiter, a server there, and I always ask for him. And it's just I love it. And you do kind of get preferential treatment, not because they feel sorry for you, but more that they think, how bold.
She's taking herself to Ruth Chris. You're high class when it comes to dating yourself.
I love to fine dine. That's my weakness. That's what I love. I'm not really clothes. Don't overly excite me. Shoes don't excite me at all. Um, Food, I can cook. I can do all that. But Ruth's Chris to me, and there's other, fine dining establishments. That's like a chain. But I took myself for dinner one year for my birthday to Second Empire, and that's in Raleigh, North Carolina. And Second Empire is like a reconverted Victorian house, top of the line. And I sat there and I looked at the other couples in the room, and I started thinking, what is wrong with you? You're the only one not coupled up. And then I got over it. You have to accept those feelings are going to come up. You have to acknowledge, yeah, I feel kind of dorky right now. And I feel kind of like, what are people thinking? Again, it does not matter. It's what you're experiencing in the moment.
Yeah, that's a good point. I love to go out. Like one of my biggest things is when I like to go out, I like to make sure that I'm properly representing myself in a way that
Mhm.
is both elegant,
Yes.
professional, clean. I remember a couple
Mhm,
of years ago, Michelle, I had this poll. I think it was when I had Instagram. No, it was probably Facebook.
mhm.
And it's specifically for women. And I just asked, I was in a live one day and I just asked them, I was like, how many women in the last couple of years, when they went on a date or they went out with their partner, whomever, that there was a dress code and need a reservation? And these were single women, right? And all of them said they've never experienced that.
Oh, I say change that. Change that. Make your reservation. Make yourself known, and especially at Ruth's Chris, and they will ask, "Are we celebrating a holiday?" You know, for one time I went, it was my birthday. Another time I said, I have just exited a really toxic work environment, and I left a super, super toxic work environment. That was something to celebrate for. And, you know, they brought me a little complimentary dessert thing. So make your reservation. Go make it, dress up, plan like you would plan if you were going out with somebody, because you are. You're going out with you.
What better date than yourself, right?
Yes, the conversation is fine. You don't, you're not looking at somebody across the table, granted. But if your headspace is peaceful and you're happy with yourself, and you know you're at peace, you are the best company you could have. Now, to that said, would it be nice to sit across from a normal man or woman that can carry on an intelligent conversation and all that? Sure. We can't say that wouldn't be nice, but we have to be comfortable in our own skin. So the women that have not ever done that, and that's so sad that you got that response. It just, ladies, go make your reservation and go get dressed, get your hair done, get your hair did, as they say, and go enjoy yourself.
Nails done, hair did, you go girl. All that stuff, right?
Hey,
Hey. That's what they all need, right? I need one for men. I need one for men. Get your beard trimmed, your
your
I don't
shoe
know.
shined,
Your shoes
your,
shines, you go king. Yeah.
the nose hairs clipped, clip the hair that's protruding out of the orifices on your head.
There you go. Make sure you're well groomed and you're wearing today's underwear for today, right? And not
Come
Monday's
on,
underwear for
man.
Sunday.
Yes.
There you go. There you go. I remember a girl, she shared this story. She was going over to a guy's house and I guess they plan to be intimate. You know, we've reached a point where we have to schedule it now. So so she went there and the guy didn't have any bed sheets on his bed.
Ooh,
So she's like, okay, you
ew.
know, that's strike number one. And then they're talking whatever. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the washroom. He had no toilet paper. She was like, okay. And
Two.
then two strikes. As she's telling me this, I was like, each of those strikes are like a strike three. But hey, you're there. And she's like, I drove all this way. Now she's trying to rationalize it, right? I drove all this way and blah, blah, blah. I was like, where did you find this guy? No bed sheets, no sheets, no toilet paper.
Ooh.
So long story short, I guess something else happened. She's like, okay, I can't do this.
Okay,
And I was just
good.
like, geez, man, like the things, like there's questions that we usually ask, right? Like, are you employed and stuff like that? Because everything else is a given. Like we assume you have bed sheets
And toilet paper.
and toilet
Yeah,
paper.
very important.
It's very important, you know, because not only to do number one, to do number two, right? So now, when she's sharing this experience, I started to ask her about her dating experience, and you know, she's struggling with dating and things like that. Then I asked her the $1 million question, or at least I thought it was. How does all these experiences, knowing that these are the type of men that you're attracting, these are the men that's giving you attention, that they seem to be, lack of a better word, bottom of the barrel? She's like, how does that affect your self worth? She was like, yeah, I kind of feel that, you know, maybe this is all I can get and things like that. When it comes to self worth, do you see someone who's struggling with having successful relationships start to doubt their self worth? Like in the example I gave.
Without a doubt, yes, and I can give my own. When I was first divorced, my uh, self-esteem was shattered. I mean, it was shattered from childhood, but it was just further, shattered, felt rejected. And so what I attracted was men who just had one goal in mind. And so I accommodated back in the day because I wasn't walking in my worth, and I didn't have any more self respect than to just say yes. And very regretful, I mean, a very regretful time, but I had to go through that. And now it's interesting because I am, uh, I'm totally opposite of that now. Just, you know, and I don't really date. I really date. I don't date. Nobody's looking. I'm okay with that at this stage of life, but you have to know who you are, and you have to have and build your self respect and self worth to be able to attract, because you will attract what you are. And if you don't have any self respect or self worth, of feeling self esteem, all of that, you will attract people who will exploit that, because for some reason, men and women, they can sniff it out. They can sniff it out a mile away. And it's like, I wasn't doing anything. I was just standing there. But there's a way that you carry yourself that shows your level of self-respect. I fully believe, and I listen to this lady a lot. Um, I forget her name now on Instagram. She's kind of like a manners lady, Carla Shellis or something like that. And she always says, when you walk, and she's all about manners, helping you be the best host, be the best guest, set a dinner table, just like manners and stuff. So she always says, picture a string on the top of your head, and then let it. Nobody wants to be someone who's slouched over, kind of like this. She always says, picture a string and that someone's pulling it. Hold your head up. Don't shuffle your feet. Shoulders back. So the way you carry yourself will make a difference who is attracted to you as well. And I think as you progress, you learn to discern, like that lady now, maybe, if say it's 10 years later, she's not going to even entertain that scenario, where she's not even going to be in a situation where she's noticing no bed sheets or no toilet paper. She's not even going to go there to begin with. So you just have to. I tell women all the time, just walk in your worth, know your worth, and that helps you make decisions a lot easier.
The bed sheets and the no toilet paper threw you for a loop, huh?
That just, you can't undo that.
There's the bare. There's nothing at all, right?
Yeah. Well, burned an image is just like, who would do that? But you just have to. And if you're not attracting the right individuals, you just, and on social media nowadays, you you have to be so careful, because you see, I mean, I haven't been on social media or dating apps, I should say, for a few years, several years now. But when I was, or what I hear now, is that all these handsome men are, their pictures are being used by scammers to to attract women. And you see, ooh, he's nice, he's nice looking, or ooh, wow, ooh, and then it's a scammer. And so you have to be really, really, really careful. But if I suggest that women talk to a relationship coach, Get some help, get some, they can build some discernment in you and really pose some questions that you really have to kind of think about. Am I accepting the best in my life, or am I accepting and attracting kind of substandard level?
Attracting the men with no bed sheets and no toilet
And no
paper.
toilet paper, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
is
one ply. Even
yeah.
one
Oh,
ply would be really a bad situation.
like the ones you find in the public toilet that scratches your butt. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
talking
the one
about.
ply, yes. Like on cruise ships. Cruise ships have, and they're maritime, toilet paper. They have to be marine safe, but they're one ply. So you have to use three times as much. But, no toilet paper. I mean, anybody with any sense, you know, has that.
Michelle, let me ask you one final question before I let
Yes.
you go today. I want to give you three wishes. What are three things you wish people knew about self-respect and why?
Oh, well, this has been a personal journey. So I hope that I can really give some wise answers. The first thing I would say is look at yourself in the mirror and say, like political advertisements, I approve of this message. This is so and so, and I approve of this message, at least in the United States. I don't know about Canada, but the United States, they say, this is so and so, and I approve this message. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, Michelle, I approve this message. I approve of you. That is a one thing. Just talk to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror like a bozo and just, I approve this message. And so that's the first thing, is approving of yourself. The second thing about gathering self respect and self worth is it doesn't happen overnight. Give yourself grace and time to let it build. If you've been in a narcissistic relationship, if you've been in a toxic or damaging relationship, you're not going to flip into a completely 100% confident person the next day. Give yourself grace to grow, to heal, not in that order, to heal, to grow. And it doesn't, just realize it doesn't happen overnight. The third one, I would say, is to go back to what we talked about and just say little baby steps. Take little steps, practical, meaningful steps for you that tell you you're worth it. You're worth, I know the commercial, yeah, do it because you're worth it. Uh, you're worth spending time on. You're worth you spending time on you. So take baby steps to just do things that prove that that is true. Don't do things that don't prove. Don't eat a gallon. I know Ben and Jerry's doesn't come in gallon containers, but don't eat the gallon of Ben and Jerry's. You know, just don't eat the whole bag of chips. Don't eat. And I know I'm going with food here, but just don't do things that prove you have no self respect. Do things that prove